Good morning, everyone. No one in social media wants to say good morning. Wow, what's with you people? Wake up. Okay. All right. So yesterday was an impressive day. Big gap up. Didn't go too far from there, but looking at the futures, you see, they already you see the big move already. So they exceeded the pivots, all right, over there to the left on the 65 minute. Didn't get a lot further, a little bit more. Um, Minor resistance. So this is a good review. That's what we're going to cover today, this morning. A good review of yesterday's MT Live. We covered minor resistance, major resistance, trends, trend breaks, transitions. We covered way too much for an MT Live. Hope you guys enjoyed it. It was probably a little bit too advanced for an MT Live, but it was all good stuff. Okay, so which opens the question as we look at different charts today, this morning to review, did the trend change? And those that were at MT Live, looking at this chart on the daily chart, did the trend change? It's part of today's pre-market review on the front screen. Thinking about how we define the trend. We made it black and white yesterday. All right, it's too early for quiz. Thank you, Jay. You enjoyed it. All right, Rocco says no. It has not changed. Breakdown, right? The little head and shoulders top, breakdown, look to the left. That day, it went down to the next two pivots, and we can put a line there for the future. The next support line and major resistance, the high prior to the lower low, major resistance. It did not exceed it. I'm eyeballing it from here to down here, maybe 50%. Maybe, I don't know, whatever. It doesn't really matter. It's not that far. It's under the 50. It's stalled here at minor resistance. And on the 65 minute, it's pulled back down to major support on the 60-minute chart. So the depth of retracement, right, covered yesterday, puts this uptrend in question. So now, is this transitioning to roll back down into the void below? We'll see. It's the beginning of a transition, but it hasn't violated this pivot low yet. We'll see if this goes sideways. Does it go sideways and break out higher to the 50? Right? We don't know. Right? So we putting together our thought building process here as it relates to this chart. The weekly is a nice bullish reversal, still within an uptrend. And if it does close this way by the end of the day tomorrow, we'll see where it goes from there. And it's kind of messy over there to the left. So, but this will be down, assuming it closes here. This will be up. They're out of alignment. And we'll just continue the factory work. NASDAQ futures still in a downtrend. Reversal on the weekly. Cleared the pivot highs on the 65 minute. Down to minor support on the 65 minute. So for the moment, holding up stronger than the ES, but weaker on the daily at converging moving averages. They're subjective, but sometimes they come into play. The 20 is declining. Looks like on top of, maybe slightly below, give or take. Downtrend, wider bar. We'll see if it stays in the upper part or what it does here. Dow. Different looking, of course. This came down much harder at the beginning, It broke down, popped up, right back up to the pivot high, and this is turning into a sideways trend, right? In a big sloppy trading range, sideways here, nice reversal on the weekly. It's a mess. We shall see what this does. 65-minute, cleared those pivots, kind of came down relatively hard. We don't have a pivot on the 65-minute down below, but we can't make perfection here. This is as close to perfection as you're going to get as far as technical analysis. My biased opinion, of course. But I know that this is a pivot. If I was to change this to maybe a 30 or a 45, it doesn't matter. I know that a bar that pokes down under 2 bars lows and has several to the right is going to be a pivot on a smaller time frame. So bring a little common sense into it, even though it's not marked a pivot. I know it's some reference point of support. And so it's stopping there, deep retracement. So this morning, pre-market things are being digested from yesterday's move up. And that's what's happening at the moment. We'd see where resistance is and so on. The Russell, strong move up, breakdown. Now, the depth of retracement here makes this, I wouldn't say bullish, but more neutral in that it was able to retrace deeply into these pivot highs and that breakdown. Still not anything to do anything with, but if it can go sideways here, I would say for a day or two, let's say by the end of the day tomorrow, this is still going sideways. That would show some strength or bullish price action at this resistance area, which would lead me to start thinking this might be able to accelerate above to the next resistance area, and maybe that 50 MA. So yet to be seen. We see that it's reached its destination. Well, here's the pivots, and looking at the 65-minute, it's the same area, and it's backed off there. And, same kind of bar there, a couple of bars to the left, several to the right, like the Dow. It's sitting there, and does it go back up here? Does it break down? I don't know. So at this point, these kind of charts tell me just stay away. Stay away. You can see even on the 5-minute, it's just a mess of opposing pivot highs and pivot lows. Nothing to do there. I'll just look at Bitcoin since I'm on this group of stuff here. Up toward resistance, trading range, so on and so forth. Gold. We've been talking about this messy pattern for a couple of weeks now, and just kind of grinding its way up toward this resistance area. I thought it would go up, but just not tradable for me. I mean, it could have been for intraday, of course, but wasn't a desirable kind of a pattern on the daily here. On the intraday, the 65-minute, and I wasn't looking at it, but because this didn't lead me to want to look, but this was a nice 65-minute chart to be thinking long bias, breakdown here, bullish 180, wide bars. This is what we'd call a range expansion, 180 reversal, bullish, nice tighter action there. So this was something, if you was looking at it, you could apply this when I'm talking to any other chart you want. Doesn't matter what it is. Everything is applicable to whatever you're going to trade, even currencies. It doesn't matter. Forex. Someone asked about Forex in the MT Live yesterday. Market, I mentioned this, market brushing this off. I think it was in the green yesterday. Market brushing off the move up in oil and clearing that resistance area. You can see over here, and here's the monthly chart. Remember, for a couple of months anyway, we were talking about possibly this breaking down below these lows into the void below. It didn't happen, and it held that support. Who the fuck? Anyway, looks like maybe it could get higher. But markets, an inflation concern, maybe it's like whatever reason it went up in light of the Trump talk, he's going to turn the spigots on. Because I remember down here talking, hey, if he's talking turning on the spigots, and maybe this is going to go down, thinking about the increase in supply coming, but counterintuitive. Here's one of those hook patterns right there. All right, silver, just that's a mess. I don't look at copper very much, but copper broke out above this pivot high here and coming up to the next one. So bullish on metals right there, this metal anyway, and gold moving up. So let's look at spiders and SPX. And there was the gap. Right now we have this gap was filled, and now we have to mark our chart. Unfilled. See if at some point that will get filled. 20 declining. Under the 50, where are prices at near yesterday's high and under the 50 MA. Now, moving averages of 50 MA on a chart that you might say more of the world is looking at versus the ES futures is where you want to use moving averages as your reference point. Okay. So under the 50, it would be something to take note of if it could get and close above the 50. But even that being said, it's major resistance up there. Right? So a gap, void, didn't go very far after the gap. And at the top of yesterday's bar. And it could go higher today. No, it's moved a long way, but then you can see the futures are consolidating. Um, you want to bring your support level up to yesterday's low as a reference point. So we can have minor support, major support in smaller time frames. And so we apply the same things to them. SPX, yesterday, nothing was touched. I said the bottom was a no-brainer, and it's up here now. I would think, and there's no more economic reports coming out today. 10 o'clock, there's business inventories. I don't think that's going to have much of an effect. The jobless claims came out lower than consensus. Actually, consensus was 210. They came out at 28, 217. So higher, a little bit more hope for that cut, that next shot of liquidity. And but markets kind of took a yawn because it moved too far, too fast yesterday. So 50 there, 20 down here. It's up here. Can it get up there today? I think not. And it's above a whole number. That 6,000 has been a big sticking point. So I like it above a whole number. It's already up. It moved a lot yesterday. I think this is as close to what's going to be the no-brainer. And I don't think it's going down there to fill the gap today. I think more or less it's here. It may go a little bit higher. It may go a little lower. So you can see on the 65 minutes and kind of in the middle of no man's land, so to speak. So not much happening there. And transports moved up. That's a good, thing that happened there. But in the downtrend, got blasted to the downside. It had this void, so moved up a little bit. The weekly chart looks terrible. Yeah. So a few others, and I'll hand it over to Dan. Mid caps, we don't look at much. That gapped up. It didn't go very far. Got blasted on its head, and as soon as it hit the 50, but overall holding up. And when I said to Dan last night, review what's going on, I said, you know what, Dan, a lot of damage was done, but yeah, the move was impressive. If some of these things that have the unfilled gap below can hold up for a couple of days, I'm going to start thinking that they can go up. So, you know, the short answer as to today is I don't know. I'm not so sure what's going to happen, today or tomorrow. Not that, you create a bias, but do they move down? Do they hold the gap? Do they go sideways at resistance, which you see IWM opens up the door to a possible move up to the 50. So we got to get our expectations in alignment with what's going on here. Semiconductors, they're gapping up. I guess, yeah, no, something's moving there. But within a giant mess, SMM is moving up. Okay, I guess that reported. So that's a good sign, kind of a good sign, huh? That some of these semiconductors, well, that's been an uptrend for a while. Yet, you look at, you know, Nvidia and well, it's gapping up, but again, just into a big mess there. So uh banks, that was the impressive one. Well, that gapped above there, but XLF was really the one, you know, and I mentioned this pre-market yesterday. It's gapping above resistance. Um, big weekly bar. And so this one, if it can stay above the gap, these financials that are reporting earnings now, some of them already out, opens up the door. So if this can hold up, it leads one to believe that if financials are holding up and other things don't go down much, the S&P can start to move a little bit higher. So a lot of things to continue observing and see what transpires over the next day, couple of days. All yours, Dan.
Good morning. Yeah, big old party yesterday on inflation not rising, but it's still, I don't know how many people understand that. We're paying 30% higher prices and it's still going up 3.2% a year. It ain't coming down. Right. Same routine here. Let's look at my alarms and then earnings. DJT, we did a naked put yesterday and I posted we will do a put spread for next week. There's juice way down here at 35. Now the inauguration is Monday, and I think Monday is going to be a tricky day because he had 100 executive orders. Have but we know it's on the border and oil and so forth. But healthcare and there's so many industries that are going to be tax policy trying to get their footing here to see how his policies are going to affect it. Ribbon here, it's not a 1, 2, 3 because this bar is red, but it's still a bullish inside bar over yesterday's high, which my alarm went off. So that would be an ideal 30-minute high. Cuervo Gold, I'm watching kind of a little gap breakout yesterday. Plants, we are in this long, and I had a low alarm go off, but I don't see much volume, but I'll at the open, I'll watch that. We're in trail mode. Charlie India, we have a put spread, but the 270s that expire tomorrow, so we're still $11 out of the money. So that's fine. Whiskey. Another one of these, I got an alarm up here at 134. All right, that's it on alarms. Delta 20 XRP all-time high. Do you mean XLP? No, that's the wrong symbol, Delta. That's Stavros. XLE is bouncing nicely. Yeah, but Stavros, have you ever heard that saying, you're late to the party? We were stalking the heck out of these things right here as a climo and stabilization. And Alex and I actually bought DIG right here on this bar and sold on this first red bar. And wow, that turned into a measured move higher. We left a lot of money on the table on that. Thomas DXCM. So I see the gap up. Okay, so that's a gap breakout. I don't, it trades, a chart I say is, in terms of volatility, it's like a footprint of a dog. Um, a pit, this is a pit bull, unpredictable, crazy. Oh no, my dog won't bite. Really? How come the only dogs I hear are munching, biting people are pit bulls? Do you ever hear a golden retriever? So a golden retriever is a nice, controlled, predictable stock. But it's a gap. Maybe a put spread. I'll put it on the list. The XCM, ALB, Robert. Not. I automatically look at ALB when I look at EV stocks. But yeah, that's fine. That's kind of, not a textbook W, but yeah, that's a W with a potent retest. But it's up 3 bars. Let's go to earnings now. Yeah, banks also obviously got the market in a good mood yesterday. And I noticed this morning, uh, Morgan Stanley is the only positive bank in the earnings department. So we were talking in the green room about doing a bull call debit spread on this. I don't know if anybody did, but that's working. Uh, this was last night, 45, no interest, full, opening flat, no interest, down a little bit. Really? You caved. That's funny. Oh, nice, Bowie. Homeboy, not much volume, but ugly gap down. Gapping down a bit, nothing. I'm just gonna delete. I delete things when I know. Well, I don't know, but it appears that it's not gonna set up. So I'm always overloaded of watch items. So I like deleting things. All right, UNH was down to 520. Now it's rallying here. Um, I don't have a bias yet. I sent a telegram, maybe a condor even. BAC, no pattern, you're gone. Imphy, you're gone. PNC, 191. That's a big, nasty gap. We'll come back to it. I don't have a bias. 48. That's an ugly gap. MTB, 196. Put spread. Put spread under these lows if there's any juice. FHN, gap down is recovering, but up 3 bars. Nothing, no prints, but just look at these bars. I have another saying that says, if it gives me a headache looking at it, then I want nothing to do with it. So that these overlapping bars give me a headache. TSM, yeah, I did. This was my only one that I liked to do a put spread yesterday as an earnings trade. But Alex, notice, remember we were talking about 1 p.m. Eastern being after their market close over in Europe or Taiwan, whatever. It obviously is out already. That's a monster gap. And so that's helping our NVIDIA. We did a put spread yesterday. And I'll see what our open profit is after a minute or two when the spreads tighten. A Ribbon alarm went off again. All right, so I had an alarm at 14:30. I really like this as a 30-minute high. And there's so many buy setups that came crashing down. And I will still trade them if we get a compelling turn. But my target is only 50% of the bounce. That's you never expect a new high on something like this. But if it goes to 50, well, $15, and it's a well, looks like it's more of a day trade, so whatever, we'll play it by ear. All right, other just miscellaneous things. Was it not Thomas? Somebody showed me this yesterday, and I sure wish I saw it earlier in the day. That would have been a beautiful 15-minute high trade right there. Beautiful, but we missed it. So I'll watch a pullback. A lunar, buy setup, deep retracement. But see, that's a potent turn. It's a bottoming tail with a 180. I just got no good entry point, but it's worth watching. Well, that's yields TBT. Target, I saw this last night when I was scanning. Look at this end of day base on the 15. Now, if it doesn't jump out at you, just think a little bit because of the color of the candles. I don't mean that derogatory, but since this is all red, look at the bullish gap yesterday. Bullish gap to the high of Monday or Tuesday, whatever. And then it just collapsed. And you got a sell set up on the weekly. So I posted that last night in Telegram as a short. And now look, the gap's messing us up. So nothing to do now. Gap messed it up. I guess saw this going by the ticker. Never heard of this. Says ill. 320. That's a bullish gap after a new low reversal. I don't know if it's optionable. ACGL. Bottoming pattern. SFM. Greg, that's yours. Let me set a higher alarm at 141. Little bull flag there on the daily. LPG alarm. Okay, we're trail stopping out of LPG at a profit. Kava over. Oh, I posted this last night also. Let me give it to you all. Kava. CRNC. CRNC. Okay, this is another buy setup. So let me just, my alarms are always early. All right, so Kava will be oh shoot, that's not right. Over closing price. No. Delete that closing price thing. That's incorrect closing price. It's just over that high. So let me just correct that so somebody doesn't jump in early. All right, so over 116.87. Oh, good. Our plant PLNT did not get down. Okay, good. So just keep the stuff that I gave yesterday. So we'll reset my alarm. Plant LVS up alarm. I said that was a Climo watch. Along with Hershey. LVS. Oh, it's totally, unless you're just scalping the 15-minute chart. That There's no zero reliable turn yet. Oh, let's see our NVIDIA. Where are we? All right, 40 cents, and we sold it for 61. So we can go ahead and move stop break even now. Nice. All right, NVIDIA, let me tighten stuff. Well, we're coming in hard here. How about under 135? 135 is 134. Qs have a big, ugly 5-minute down bar. Apple rolling over, Amazon, Tesla, um, Meta gap down, Google gap down. So it's time to be very selective. NVIDIA, new alarm, 3488.
Plug is shaping up.
DJT. And DJT is a go if filled. Plug. Yeah, yeah. Biden is trying to give them more billions of dollars to plug in Rivian, I heard. Yeah, yeah. That's if it can maybe 30-minute high now. Yeah, I was watching it the last few days and I said it was just too wild for me. Yeah, it's a bullish 15-minute chart, that's for sure. All right, CDW alarm trail stopping out, so take the money. Um, we only had a third left, I think. And also this LPG trail stopping out, but profits. Soon up alarm. All right, if I like it the best now out of the last 4 days. Um, this would be a great 30-minute higher. I don't care about UNH anymore. Oh, I got soon right there. No. Okay, NTK alarm over 63. This is looking good. Now let's move the stop at day's low because it took out yesterday's low under 62. which will be 61.98. Wow, it soon got slapped right down. That's why I said I'd prefer it to close strong. Um, okay, well, when my alarm goes off, I'll take a look at it. CTM, yeah, I got an alarm, I think at 105, 106. Let me close out these LPGs. Okay, LPG, we had half left. 26.68. PG. Lauer alarm. UNM. Lauer. Greg, this one I gave you yesterday, last night too. The beautiful 15 continuation pattern. Lauer, day trade or swing.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah.
UNM. Early alarm, and has to get over yesterday's high. Nothing to do now. CDW. We only have a third left. CDW 187, 79. ESPR, we had a half lot stopping out. Piece of garbage. All right, so that, this falls in the garbage department. And we did a half lot on that breakout and that failed. $238. $13. All right, that's garbage. Okie alarm. Nice, Okie. Now, stop yesterday's low. I think I did already. Yeah, 105.94. Yeah, that's a little Okie. And we sold a third already. So Sam, that means we have 2/3 left. Just to save you a little time. Yeah, but Sam, 2/3 of what? All right, good job. Well, you're pretty sharp this morning. That Cuervo gold is slopping all over the place. Cliff Clavin. Okay, early alarm, but I had an alarm on this because if it could get above these two red bars, it's kind of a 1, 2, 3 for a bounce, but nothing to do now. Oh, look at that soon. Yes, PR we're out. All right, this is very, very whippy on the 5-minute charts and breakout failures. We got room to fall on the 15 and hourly, so careful on new longs here. Big unfilled gap. And remember, Alex, your VIX rock, and I said, I like that it had a little more significance. All right, plant. Let's, I think stop is yesterday's low, 105.25. Yeah, a few pennies under it, that's fine. All right, our emitter is the 1, 2, 3. If it closes like this, all right, ribbon did nothing. Next is probation, piece of garbage, XME. We are long the ETF. I actually like to do a covered call myself. Venue E, I still didn't enter, but I still like it. It's just concerning me. So Alex, this one is a tough call on the 3 bar rule. And not in terms of stopping out, but in terms of me entering it. It's like, I mean, why? No, right. You didn't let me finish. I said not in terms of exiting, but it's making me question, do I want to enter it? I mean, it triggered yesterday just by 3 pennies on this little topping tail there. So it's recorded as an open trade, but I'm not in it yet. SFM, I got an alarm at 141. All right, our Tesla call debit spread is pulling in. Clove, we sold half yesterday. Now let's move stop here, 384. Brothers, 1, 2, 3, but it has air below if it cracks this support with the futures. And I'm just going to set a new alarm on soon and not worry about it. Oh, I think I'm in puts on soon. Yeah, I just got a two lot of the $13 puts for tomorrow. So that's fine. But do you remember how many times I've been talking about things that come down like this and there's no support? And so that is a very good lesson, you all, of waiting for a closing bullish reversal pattern, not getting sucked into it intraday. Like, see, yesterday took out the prior day's high. But do you all remember what I said? I said, I'm not convinced because I don't have a bottoming tail. So that was a good little lesson. Our plant is falling hard. Let's see, 13, 6, 14, 5. But so just let it play out on plant. SMG alarm, little bottoming pattern, more of a put spread. I don't like to reward the risk for directional, but let me check the juice bar. You see, I see, particularly if it's shorter dated, like tomorrow. Look, it's right there. The 6750s is what I want. So I go to 6750, 0 by 15. So see, that's the checklist. That's the checklist. Bitcoin falling hard. So Trump got filled on a pullback. The new put spread. Hey, Greg, what do you think if I call Trump and offer our services that we can manage a covered call program for all of his DJT stock?
Impressive. See if we can get him on the phone.
Yeah. And then we can just go up and have lunch with them at Mar-a-Lago and discuss the details. Hopefully,
All
Melania
right.
will be there
Sounds like a plan.
serving us some tea because I know he doesn't drink. All right, I'll work on that. I mean, I'm sure he's not going to allow a big crowd, but we can call you on Skype, Patrick. But I'll see what I can do. You too, Don. I'm sure you want to go. Charlie, India. Let's see where this is. That's funny, Robert. Robert, that was funny. I like that. That was a good, that was a good comeback. Look at soon up alarm again. Look, remember I said a Rottweiler versus a golden retriever. I mean, look how wild this thing is on the 15-minute chart. All right, Charlie, India. Let's move stop days under 277. Well, actually, let's just close it here. Close it around 30 cents. We closed half yesterday, and it's the chart don't look good, and I'd rather just get out. We closed half at 20 cents yesterday. All right, done with him. Midpoint now is 25. How's our Chewy? Nothing. Stop yesterday's low. Not looking good right now. But, profit territory. Chewy stop. Oh, it stopped break even at 36.80. Ah, so it just hit our break even. All right. All right, poor Chewy is gone. LRE. That's the wrong symbol, Alex. XLRE. Wrong symbol. Kava alarm. Alex, XLRE. Okay, there you go. So you're fighting with me again.
It's creating the void from the wide mind bar
No,
intraday.
right. I mean, I get it as a scalp, but he said IRA, and that ain't my style with yesterday's nasty reversal of resistance. Yeah, Dono,
He
it's just
believe he believes it's bottoming, and that's going to be ignored.
right. So that's fine. If it's a long-term fundamental thing, all I said about it is it ain't my style.
Alex doesn't know anything about fundamentals.
Um,
Neither do I.
well, he does a little. He does. Yeah, Kava bottoming pattern here. Um, let me check the Q's bar. I'm gonna even check for tomorrow naked. 114, 21 by 50. So nope, too spready. All right, what did I give? I gave 110, 105. It's 48. And I wanted 70. So, let's kind of watch it. I mean, Gustavo told me he loves this company fundamentally. He said it's the burrito company, the CMG, over in I forget what country, Europe or India or whatever. But he loves this company fundamentally. And so the reason I'm saying that is daily and weekly are in alignment for a turn, but not core to me. I mean, it's a Climo with a nasty red bar. So I actually would like the same daily weekly turn, but around $90. You see, because then the monthly wouldn't be as extended, and the monthly would be a buy setup. You see the difference? So, it's still a trade. I'm just differentiating, day swing versus core, Greg's favorite word. Sam, HRMY. It's fine. It's just, I don't know. Not for me. BMY, Sam likes short, not bad. Plant is trail stopping out. Go ahead and take it. Alex, I don't know if you know this, but Plant is the company that supplies the nurseries at Home Depot and Lowe's. Well, we can adjust. We can also adjust the credit on. So, I'm just gonna watch it here and see what happens. Yeah, so I'll put it here. Just keep an eye on it. I'm in no rush, particularly with the market. Wow, IWM just slammed to new lows. I mean, slam with the biggest bar. Q Spider's also a new low, but not as violent as IWM. Look at that. Hey, zero DTE call spread again. IWM, the 226s. Please let there be juice. 226. 6 cents. Six. SIX. I don't think so. All right, plant, we're out. $1.42 gain. I'll take it. Wow, that's soon. Man, that gives me whiplash watching that thing.